So, you might be wondering if the vocal freedom method is actually what you need to improve your singing. Well, in this episode, I've got you covered with a clear checklist and signs and insights so that you can finally stop second guessing yourself and start moving forward in your singing journey with clarity and purpose without spending months of staying stuck in confusion or self-doubt. Let's dive into it. Hi, my name is Maggie. I'm the founder of the Singing Insiders, in which I help passionate singers just like yourself become the best versions of themselves through singing. And in these episodes, you're going to get tools, exercises, insights all around singing to help you up-level your singing skills. So let's take a look at what it actually takes to know if the vocal freedom method is a right fit for you. Now, in order to truly get this, you need to understand some common mistakes that many singers are making and what the vocal freedom method is in the first place. So we'll cover that definitely in this episode. First of all, many beginner singers, let's start here, they think that vocal freedom is just about hitting the high notes, being able to sing high notes, and then what they do is push their voice to get to that high note. And then oftentimes what ends up is those singers feel tension, which might cause hoarseness in the voice or other vocal problems. We don't want to have that. Another common thing is this idea or belief that performance anxiety is something that will just disappear by doing it more often and by putting themselves out of their comfort zone. This idea of the more I do it, the less anxiety I will feel when it comes to the performance anxiety side of things or side of singing. We're going to look at how we can do that in a better way. Now, the third big mistake that many beginner singers are making is when they're singing songs, especially covers of songs, they're copying the original artist in any way. They think or they believe that singing a song well is singing the song exactly like the original artist, when really it's all about authentic expression. And if you notice yourself making one of those mistakes, that's okay. We're creating awareness. We can do something about it. And that brings us, when we're starting to shift these things, into the world of what I like to call the trained singer. That's where I want to get you. Because a trained singer, they know that foundational vocal technique like breath support or blending the registers, head voice, chest voice, mixed voice, that's what you need to build a reliable voice. That's what you need in order to sing well and controlled. And a trained singer also knows that performance anxiety doesn't just go away by pushing yourself. It's by doing something else. And we're going to talk about that today. Also, trained singers, they know how to interpret a song. They know how to sing a song in their own unique and authentic way. And that's what the vocal freedom method really allows you to do. So let's get into this self-assessment to see if the vocal freedom method is actually a right fit for you. So I'm going to share with you 3 big signs that it might be a right fit for you. And then we're going to take a look at the overall broad picture of what the vocal freedom method actually is. So sign number 1. If you're someone where your voice feels unpredictable, some days your voice sounds amazing and then other days it just sounds off, or some days it feels like you need to put a lot of effort into producing a good sound and then other days it just goes effortlessly. There's no consistency in your voice. That might be a sign that we need to work on vocal technique. That might be a sign that something's off. The fact that you cannot rely on your voice means that there's something that is not matching. And we need to work on vocal technique. That's sign number 1. having an unpredictable voice. I have some singers and they describe it as, I don't know if I can trust my voice. I wake up in the morning, I have a performance that day, and some days I'm scared because I don't know how I will wake up that morning, right? We want to know that whatever the circumstances are, whether you had a beautiful night's sleep or not, whether you're a little bit sick or not, that you can rely on your voice performing to its best of its abilities. Okay, so sign number 1, if you're feeling like your voice is unpredictable, then the vocal freedom method might be something for you. Sign number 2, you notice yourself saying things like, I'm not ready yet to sing in public, or I'm not good enough to perform, or I am stressed and nervous when I perform. Like, if you find yourself saying things like that, that is sign number 2 that the vocal freedom method might be a right fit for you. If you're struggling with insecurities about yourself, about your voice, about your skill set, about the level of singing that you're at, maybe it even manifests as performance anxiety, then the vocal freedom method will definitely be a good fit for you. So that's sign number 2. Sign number 3 is if you find yourself imitating others. If you find yourself singing and then that singing not feeling like it's you. So let me make that clear with an example. If you're singing a cover and you find yourself listening to the original artist to figure out what techniques they use and to figure out how you need to phrase some of the things, or if you are scared to deviate from the original melody, then that's another sign that the vocal freedom method might be a good fit for you. If you struggle to sing in your own unique, authentic way, that's basically it. That's sign number 3. So let me recap. Sign number 1 is that feeling that your voice is unpredictable, that you cannot trust your voice. Sign number 2 is insecurity around singing, around yourself, around your voice, performance anxiety, all those things. And then sign number 3 is feeling like you're imitating others, not being able to sing in your own unique and authentic way. Those are the 3 signs. And if you find yourself in one or more of these signs, then there's a good chance that the vocal freedom method might be a good fit for you. Now, if this alone for you was already very insightful, then my invitation to you is to hit the like button and subscribe button down below so that you can keep being updated for new episodes just like this one coming out in the future. Now, if you're nodding along and saying, yep, I recognize myself in this, let's keep going because we are actually going to move into what the vocal freedom method is. So here's what it is. The vocal freedom method is a system that allows you to bring together all the necessary elements, all the elements required for you to develop yourself as an all-around singer. And it builds on 3 big pillars. Pillar number 1 is the technique pillar. If you want to be able to sing in a healthy way, if you want to be able to sing high notes, sing low notes, sing all the notes in between, freely, without tension, without hurting your voice, then you need to have a good vocal technique foundation. And even more than a foundation. This is what I like to call the vocal technique backpack. That's where we're putting techniques and we're learning techniques and getting those into our muscle memory. It's kind of like swimming. If you go into the water, you need to know how to move your arms and your legs to stay above the water and not drown. Same thing with singing. You need to have specific techniques so that you know how to use your voice in a good and healthy way so that you can keep singing for years and years and years to come because you only have one voice. We need to take care of that voice. It's not like a guitar where you can go to the guitar shop and order another one if it's broken, right? Your voice, if it's broken, then we have a problem. So that's the technique pillar. And that's where most singers start. And also that's where most singers stop, unfortunately. There's more to it. So the second pillar is a trust pillar. Trust pillar is all about cultivating confidence. What I like to call the inner work. Because if you are someone who's insecure, if you're someone who doubts yourself or your voice, if you're someone who experiences performance anxiety, then we have something within ourselves that tells us that singing, and especially performing, is a danger. In other words, we don't feel safe when doing so. Let me give you an example. If you go to a safari trip in Africa and there's a lion running at you, is that dangerous? I would think so. I would think so. If there's a lion running at me, I'm going to freak out. And my body is going to freak out. My body is going to do everything that it's necessary to either run away, to play dead, or to fight the lion. So that's where you have your typical responses: fight, flight, and freeze. Because our brain sees a threat, something that it sees as a danger. In this case, it's a lion. If you're experiencing doubt and anxiety, especially when performing, your brain sees performing as the lion. And that's where all those symptoms of a shaky voice, trembling knees, your stomach in a knot, all those things, those symptoms come up because my brain sees that as a threat, as a danger, and reacts accordingly. We want to make sure that we're having tools and techniques to get that out of the way. And nervous system regulation is one of those tools and techniques. There's more, obviously. But that's what this whole trust pillar is about. Making sure that you can tap into your confidence as a singer instead of your fears. The third pillar is a truth pillar. Now, the truth pillar, this is about connection. This is about authenticity. This is about being 100% you. So yes, it's one thing to be able to sing a note with the right techniques. It's another thing to be able to express that note with confidence, with the trust pillar. But when you do that within your own unique, authentic way, that's when you connect with your listener. That's when you move a room full of people with the power of your voice. And that's the truth pillar. That's the third magic ingredient to your holistic development as a singer. So as you can see, it is a holistic approach that we need to take in order to develop ourselves as a singer. It's not just about technique. It's not just about raving up that confidence. It's about having those three elements work hand in hand. You need to know how to use your voice. You need to have the confidence to let yourself be heard. And you need to have the authenticity to connect with a song. Not just for your listener, but also for yourself. Because that's where the true fulfillment and passion in singing lies. The fact that you can connect with a song, that you can connect with an emotion and the lyrics and the interpretation. Now, I know this is a big conversation, and the next question is, well, how do I do all of that? And I'm glad you asked, because I have a training that focuses exactly on that. And it walks you through these three pillars of the vocal freedom method and exactly how you can apply that within your own singing and help you grow within your own singing journey. My invitation to you is to keep this conversation going in that free training. I will link to it in the description here down below, and I cannot wait to see you on that training so that we can dive deeper into the actual doing. Let's get into action now that you understand the concept. Let's put that into practice. So I'm looking forward to see you there. Click the link in the description here down below. Thank you for having spent this time here with me, and we'll see each other soon. Bye. you up.